For the first time in his Cup Series career, Denny Hamlin wins 3 races in a row. He is now only 19 points behind Tyler Reddick for the regular season championship lead. 64th career win. He officially passes Kyle Busch on the all-time wins list and his 8th win at Pocono. 3 poles and 3 wins in a row for Denny Hamlin. Only like the 3rd time in next-gen history a driver won 3 races in a row. I believe Christopher Bell was the first, and then Tyler Reddick earlier this year. Welcome back to Main Motorsports. I am Jake, and let's go over this last weekend at Pocono. Denny Hamlin, 28 laps, led 67 points. Bunch of stage points, another win. You get so many bonus points for winning races in that Minions Hawaiian Rolls car. He stole the moon. He literally stole the moon. Gets better every single week. Continues to impress. Guys like Tyler Reddick, who jump out of the gate so hot, are bound to either just maintain or slowly fall off. I would prefer a driver to have a slower start or have their peak come later in the season like Denny Hamlin's having now, because you have this built-up momentum heading towards the chase, rather than Reddick, who maybe used all of his momentum earlier in the season. At the same time, though, Reddick's running pretty good. He still just finished second. He had a top 5 at Charlotte, a top 6 in Nashville. His only bad race was Michigan. The thing is, though, with this new point system, winning guarantees you a 15-point advantage over second place. Like before this new points format, winning only had 5 points over second place. Now it has 15. So that's why Reddick had such a big lead earlier in the season. He kept winning races plus 15, plus 15, plus 15, plus 15 on top of the stage points and overall good finishes he was getting outside of those wins. Denny Hamlin now is doing the same thing Reddick was doing. All these wins are plus 15. Plus 15. It's big chunks being knocked out every single time you win. Plus, he's winning more stages than Tyler Reddick. He's getting more stage points. This race, for example, Hamlin won the race. That right there is 50 points alone, just by winning. 50 points alone just for winning the race. Second place gets 35. He gets 12 stage points as well. That's 67 points on the day. Tyler Reddick, who finished only 1 spot behind Denny Hamlin in this race, only 35 points because he got no stage points. That's 32 points right there. Despite Reddick only finishing 1 spot behind Denny. That's how important these stage wins are, these stage points, and how important winning the race is as a whole, because you get so many extra bonus points just by winning the race. It's going to be a great points battle to the end of this regular season. Only a 19-point gap. Reddick just a month ago had over a 100-point lead over Denny Hamlin. These two guys are in a class of their own. The next nearest guy in points is like Blaney, Elliott, Ty Gibbs, that are all about 100 points behind these guys. It's going to be a fight for third. William Byron, a very much needed third place. Hendrick, as a whole, has struggled, besides Chase Elliott, arguably. Byron has had a pretty slow start to this season. He showed top 5 pace, though, in this race throughout the entire run. I think that Chevrolet body is starting to be figured out. All the Hendrick cars, besides Bowman, had some promising speed in this race. The Spire cars, also like Suarez and Hocevar up front for a little bit. Chevrolet is making strides, and before you know it, they're going to be at the level of Toyota. They're not there yet, but they're definitely getting faster. The highlight of this race. This race was very tame compared to the last few weeks. Kind of a return to form. Not as many big crashes, a pretty organic, I'm not going to say boring, but average race. Nothing too crazy. It's Pocono. It's not known to be the most exciting racetrack. The highlight easily was the Legacy Motor Club duo of John Hunter Nemechek and Eric Jones finishing 4th and 6th. They were legitimately in the top 5 on speed. John Hunter led 42 laps and got a bunch of stage points. Eric Jones got a bunch of stage points as well. They were both up front contending for the win in this race. John Hunter led so many laps. I would have loved to see a John Hunter Nemechek win. Would have been the funniest thing ever. He came pretty close too, 4th place. Eric Jones was also up front, just not too far behind. Not too far behind that 42 car. And in between them, Kyle Larson with another top 5, back-to-back top 5s for him. A good race for Kyle Larson. Chris Buescher with the fastest lap of the race. His first win came here in 2016. Another top 10. I said Chris Buescher would get a top 10, and what do you know? He gets a top 10. I like Chris Buescher. Ross Chastain finally gets a good race. 8th place in that Busch Light Lime car. I like that Busch Apple car a little bit better. Busch Apple's pretty good. Everyone likes Busch Apple. But Busch Lime gave Chastain some good fortune this week. A very solid 8th place. He needs that. I'm a little bit worried about Chastain, the position he's in. I don't think he's going to make the chase at this point. I think he's too far back. But I don't think a win is out of the question this season for Chastain. I just can't see Ross Chastain going winless. I still think he'll get a win, but I don't think he'll make the chase at this point. Ty Gibbs, a 9th place run. All the Toyotas so fast once again. And then Ryan Blaney, quiet day running that Ryan Newman throwback scheme. Rounds out your top 10. The pit strategy was definitely the highlight of this race, and John Hunter Nemechek. Again, this is Pocono in the next-gen era. It's not notoriously known to be the most exciting racing. Gets strung out, a lot of single file. But the different pit strategies, some guys pitting when others don't, shuffling up the running order, that's always interesting to watch. I always enjoy that. I'll put it this way. I've been to Pocono 9 times in my life. I've seen several Gen 6 races with the high horsepower, the lower horsepower, the lower downforce, you name it, all those different packages they ran. I've also been to 3 next-gen races at Pocono, 2022, 2023, and 2024. And I can confidently say that 2022 and 2023 were the 2 most entertaining Pocono races I've been to. The next-gen car was brand spanking new. Pocono only had 1 trip a year instead of 2. More passing. More guys not knowing the limits of their car and spinning out. The drama with Denny Hamlin back-to-back years throwing somebody in the wall to win. The Austin Dillon helmet throw. The Kyle Larson versus Denny Hamlin rivalry. The Denny Hamlin versus Ross Chastain rivalry. Hamlin and Kyle Busch getting disqualified because of their illegal race cars or their tape modifications in the front, giving the win to Chase Elliott. Like, there were a lot of good moments in those first 2 years of the next gen. Once they started figuring out the next gen car, though, especially in 2024, I saw a legit turning point. The fuel saving was 10 times worse. The aero problems were worse. Less passing. It was just not as good. I noticed a significant downgrade in quality of racing in 2024. I really did. And then I didn't go last year. And last year was like 90% fuel saving. And this year again, like there was a lot of fuel saving conversation. We saw Christopher Bell try to stretch it on 51 laps of gas. He ultimately came up like 1 lap short of doing that, which stinks because he was racing with a broken wrist. Don't forget he got hurt last week in the crash in Michigan. Made all the laps though. You got to give him props for that. But still, I know he was probably in pain in that race car. But like, just the fact that you know they could have more horsepower, you know that the racing could be better, not so fuel saving dependent. Like, what's the point of buying a ticket if you know it's going to be fuel saving? If they made the short track package, the normal package for Pocono, I would 100% buy a ticket going into next season. I'm trying to go to New Hampshire. That's my goal. My buddy works in New Hampshire. I'm trying to go to New Hampshire in August because they have the lower downforce, higher horsepower package they're going to run. I want to see that because I guarantee the racing will be better than it has been the last few years at New Hampshire. That's just me, though. I love Pocono as a racetrack. It's just I want to see less fuel saving. The only wrecks we only saw in this race were just people going too hard on restarts. That's what I've noticed. Since after 5 laps, since tires don't really wear either, you get stuck single file. Making a pass is near impossible unless there's some pit strategy going on. You see these guys race like animals on restarts. The moves these guys are making, how they're swerving from one lane to another, I've never seen anything like this with the Gen 6 car. It's because these drivers know once they get strung out, making a pass will be nearly impossible no matter how good or bad their car is. We saw this one big pileup with SVG and Josh Berry just running each other into the wall. Like they knew, like if I gave up this spot right now, I'm probably not going to get it back for the whole race unless some pit strategy separates us. I mean, that wreck, granted, could have been Austin Hill's fault. It's just kind of 3 guys not knowing they were 3 wide. Pretty big names got involved in this crash. Keselowski's now below the chase bubble. Bubba Wallace, who needed a good day, still rebounded for an okay day, but, Logano's now below the chase bubble again. Some guys who were on that chase bubble had some issues in this race. SVG is just above the chase bubble right now. He was involved in this crash. But this is just the result of people being too scared to give up any momentum on these restarts, knowing that once they're strung out, it's going to be really hard to pass. Higher horsepower and lower downforce will help a little bit. Not saying it's the solution to everything that's wrong with Pocono, but it's definitely a solution nonetheless. Let's go over some other finishers real quick. I want to point out Chase Elliott, solid 11th place after crashing in Michigan, needs that. Briscoe, 12th. Daniel Suarez, a good points day in 13th, got 8 stage points. Cindric, 14th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 15th. Riley Herbst, another top 20. Michael McDowell, 17th. Austin Hill, back-to-back top 20s for him, replacing Kyle Busch. Not bad for him. He did kind of cause that big pile-up in the beginning of Stage 2, but I've seen worse. Todd Gilliland won a stage in this race. He did. He won Stage 2 by staying out. Good for Todd Gilliland. Finishes 19th. Carson Hocevar, top 20. One more guy I want to point out in this race is Zane Smith, who's been running very good. He was up there running top 3, man, doing a really, really good job. And unfortunately, he kind of lost his car underneath Denny Hamlin's spin, so the inside wall ruins his day. He had a great day going, though. He's been running very good. We all know that Josh Berry is not returning to the Wood Brothers 21 next season. I don't know if Zane Smith's under contract, but for some reason, I feel like Zane Smith in the 21 car would be a good fit. Because I think Zane Smith has the talent to go out there and win races, and the 21 car is basically a Penske car, even though they've been struggling this year pretty bad. Zane Smith, I think, is under contract with Front Row Motorsports, to my knowledge, I think. I don't even know. But that 21 car, who do you think will be in that 21 car? Because I personally have no idea. Could not tell you. Take the O'Reilly Series race, right? I always say how the O'Reilly Series race is better than the Cup race. I'm not saying that I like a race to devolve into a crapshoot. I don't want them crashing every 5 laps. I don't watch for the crashes. I used to when I was 11 years old? Yeah. But now, I want to see quality of racing. But it's also fun when they're going as hard as they possibly can and they sometimes lose control. The O'Reilly Series had way too many cautions. But you know what that shows me, though? That these guys have a lot less grip than the Cup Series guys. Cup Series, the crashes are more because of pure desperation. Knowing that once the field gets strung out on these restarts, they're going to have very few chances to pass a car under green for the rest of the race. The O'Reilly Series, yes, you get aggressive on the restarts, but you have that opportunity to pass later in a run or even earlier in a run once you get strung out, because car handling matters and having a good car will actually prevail you versus a car who does not have the grip that you have, right? The O'Reilly cars lose control just by going as hard as they can without trying to cross that threshold of losing control. The Cup Series guys crash because of desperation, knowing that they have to get this spot right now. They're never going to have a chance. There's a big difference. There's a very, very big difference. Speaking of that O'Reilly Series, these two veterans, Denny Hamlin and Justin Allgaier, they're both in the talks of retiring soon. Hamlin said he might retire at the end of next season. Justin Allgaier briefly mentioned this might be his last year. Justin Allgaier's having the best season of his career. 5 wins. He already has a chase spot clinched. He can miss the remainder of the regular season and still make the chase. He's doing so good. He needs to stay around. He needs to. Why not? Win more races, get more trophies, make more money. And this points battle between Hamlin and Reddick is going to be incredible, with 10 races to go in the regular season. Next week, we head to San Diego Naval Base, for the last race on Amazon Prime, unfortunately. Last year, I didn't really mind TNT's coverage. Listen, anything's better than Fox, so I'm fine with the same booth as well. That's basically the gist of Pocono. A very tame race compared to the last few weeks, so I don't have too much to talk about. Just Denny Hamlin's on fire. Simple as that. Denny Hamlin's on fire. one of the best drivers in this next-gen car, one of the few guys who can consistently make passes in this next-gen car. He's right there with Tyler Reddick. Everyone else is fighting for third. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Stay tuned for more. Jake, May Motorsports. Have a great day. Peace.